Imagine a man being thrown into a cauldron of boiling oil and coming out completely unscathed. Impossible? Brace yourself for a mind-bending revelation. The story of Apostle John doesn't just challenge logic, it redefines the limits of the possible. How did he survive? Was it a divine miracle? Or is there an explanation that has eluded us for 2 millennia? In the next few minutes, you'll dive into a mystery that combines unshakable faith, brutal persecution, and a display of power that defies all natural explanation. This isn't just another ancient tale, it's an account that could radically change your view on miracles and the hidden potential within. Are you ready to uncover a secret that has remained hidden for generations? Picture this, a bustling Roman square, the air thick with tension and the acrid smell of boiling oil. At the center of it all stands an elderly man, frail in appearance but with a serene, determined look. This is John, the beloved disciple of Jesus Christ, about to face a trial that would challenge even the most unshakable faith. The crowd, a mix of fearful Christians and curious Romans, watches in silence as imperial guards drag John towards an enormous cauldron. The liquid inside bubbles furiously and the stench of boiling oil fills the air. It's a scene of impending horror, but John remains calm, his lips moving in silent prayer. What would be the fate of this man whose teachings had touched so many hearts? Was this the end of the apostolic lineage, the final silencing of voice that echoed the word of Christ himself? The spectators held their breath, some turning away, unable to bear what was to unfold. But what followed, everyone's jot a living testimony to the power of Christian faith. Against all odds, John not only survived but emerged from the boiling oil completely unharmed, his skin untouched, his eyes shining with supernatural intensity. It was a miracle that would echo through the centuries, inspiring countless believers in their spiritual journey and leaving skeptics perplexed. How could a man endure such torment and come out unscathed? This extraordinary event wasn't just an act of survival, it was a powerful testament to divine intervention. It represented a turning point in early Christian history, demonstrating that faith could overcome even the most terrible persecutions. For many who witnessed it, it was living proof that John's God was indeed the God of miracles. The news of John's miraculous survival in the boiling oil spread like wildfire, inspiring Christians throughout the empire to stand firm in their faith, even in the face of extreme adversity. It was a vivid reminder that God's power could manifest in extraordinary ways, protecting his faithful servants in times of greatest need. But the miracle was just the beginning. What followed was equally remarkable. Instead of being released, John was exiled to the island of Patmos. There, far from everything he knew, he would receive some of the most profound divine revelations ever recorded. What could have been the end of his journey became, in fact, the prelude to something even greater. As we delve deeper into this fascinating story, we discover not just a miraculous man, but a lasting testimony to the power of faith, perseverance, and divine purpose. John's journey teaches us sometimes our greatest trials can be the pathway to our greatest revelations. What lessons can we draw from this story for our own lives? How can we cultivate a faith as unshakable as John's? To truly appreciate John's miracle, we must first understand who he was and the crucial role he played in Christian history. John wasn't just another follower of Jesus, he was one of the pillars of early Christianity, a man whose faith was forged through extraordinary experiences and a unique closeness to Christ himself. Picture a young fisherman from Galilee working alongside his father and brother on the shores of the Sea of Galilee. This placed John before his encounter with Jesus, an ordinary day turned into a turning point of his life, when a charismatic preacher invited him with the simple words, "Follow me." At that moment, John couldn't have imagined the spiritual adventures that awaited him. As one of the 12 apostles, John had the privilege of witnessing Jesus firsthand, hearing his most intimate teachings and being present at the most crucial moments of his ministry. He was there at the Last Supper, witnessed Jesus' agony in the Garden of Gethsemane, and notably was the only apostle present at the foot of the cross during the crucifixion. This closeness to Jesus profoundly shaped John's faith and character. He wasn't just a passive observer, but an active participant in Christ's mission. The Gospels portray him as the beloved disciple, the one to whom Jesus entrusted the care of his own mother in his final moments on the cross. This trust and intimacy with Jesus would be fundamental to the strength John would later demonstrate in the face of persecution. After Jesus' ascension, John emerged as a central figure in the early church. Alongside Peter and James, he was considered one of the pillars of the Christian community in Jerusalem. His role was not just that of a leader, but also a guardian of truth, combating heresies and reaffirming the fundamental teachings of Christ. It was in this context of leadership and witness that John faced growing opposition as Christianity spread throughout the Roman Empire. The authorities saw this new faith as a threat to the established order. Persecution of Christians intensified, and John, as a prominent figure, became a natural target. The miracle of the boiling oil occurred during this turbulent phase, but his faith, nurtured by years of intimate walk with Christ and strengthened by adversities, remained unshakable. He faced his trial not with fear, but with the serene confidence of someone who deeply knew God's power and love. This is the backdrop against which John's miracle unfolds. It's not just an isolated event, but the climax of a life dedicated to faith and service. As we explore this story more deeply, we're invited to reflect how our own experiences and relationship our faith. How can we, like John, remain firm in our convictions even in the face of the greatest adversities? The moment of truth had arrived. John, the beloved apostle, was about to face a trial that would test the limits of human faith and divine intervention. Picture the scene: a giant cauldron filled with boiling oil, its surface boiling violently. The acrid smell fills the air, while a crowd gathers, some eager for spectacle, others trembling in fear for the apostle's fate. John is led to the edge of the cauldron, his eyes, witnesses say, showing no fear but a surprising peace. As the guards prepare to throw him into the scalding oil, John closes his eyes and his lips move in silent prayer. At this crucial moment, we might wonder what was going through the mind of this man of faith. What inner strength sustained him in the face of seemingly certain doom? The silence is broken by the sound of John being plunged during to the boiling oil. The crowd holds its breath, expecting to hear screams of agony. But what follows defies all logic and expectation. There are no screams, no smell of burning flesh. Instead, an eerie silence envelops the scene. A second seemed to drag on, turning into minutes of agonizing wait. Then, to the amazement of all present, John emerges, a cauldron. His skin is intact, without any sign of burns. His hair and clothes are dry, as if they had never touched the boiling liquid. Also, John didn't just survive, he came out completely unharmed. This wasn't just an act of survival, but an undeniable miracle, a demonstration of divine power that left the cross tunnel. The scene evokes memories of another biblical miracle, the story of Shadrach and Abednego in the fire furnace. Just as those three young Hebrews emerged unscathed from the flames, John came out untouched from the boiling oil. The impact of this event was immediate and profound. For the Christians present, it was a powerful confirmation of their faith. Imagine the encouragement they felt seeing God intervene in such a dramatic way. For skeptics and persecutors, it was a shock that shook their convictions. How to explain the inexplicable? How to deny what their own eyes had witnessed? This miracle wasn't just an isolated event, but a turning point in early Christian history. The news spread quickly, inspiring Christians throughout the Roman Empire to stand firm in their faith, even in the face of severe persecution. John's miraculous survival became a symbol of hope and resistance for a growing church facing opposition from all sides. For John, this experience was more than a demonstration of divine power. It was a personal validation of his faith and mission. Imagine how this experience must have strengthened his determination to continue preaching the gospel, even in the face of future dangers and persecutions. The boiling oil, which should have been his end, actually became a new beginning, preparing him for the divine revelations that were yet to come. After his miraculous survival in the boiling oil, John's faith took an unexpected turn. Instead of freedom, he was sentenced to exile on the island of Patmos. Imagine the scene: an elderly man, marked by years of service and persecution, being taken to a rocky and desolate island in the Aegean Sea. For many, this exile might have seemed like a flawed death sentence, a sad end to a remarkable life. But for John, it was about to become the setting for one of the most extraordinary spiritualities in Christian history. Patmos, a barren island of just 15 square miles, was used by the Romans as a place of banishment for political prisoners. The isolation and harsh conditions were designed to break the spirit of the exiles. However, for John, what should have been punishment transformed into a profound spiritual retreat. Far from the noise and distractions of the world, he found a silence that opened the doors to divine revelation. It was on Patmos that John received the visions that would later be recorded in the book of Revelation. the final and most mysterious book of the New Testament. This remarkable series of visions offers a glimpse into the ultimate destiny of humanity, the cosmic struggle between good and evil, and the final triumph of God's kingdom. In John's story, we find not just an account of miraculous survival, but a deep lesson about faith, perseverance, and the transformative power of trials. What could have been a tragic end instead became the prelude to one of the most significant spiritual contributions to Christian theology.